I'm a flat earther and I live in New England. I'm a flat earther in New England because I can see the pole star, which is the North Star, and I understand how important it is that the North Star never ever moves. Now, I own telescopes that track the stars and will track the moon and whatever you want it to track, and you can point it at the North Star and it will never ever move. It won't budge, it won't go anywhere, which is telling me we are not endlessly spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, 66,700 miles an hour around the sun, and chasing the sun through the galaxy 500,000 plus miles an hour. It's kind of a ridiculous concept when you understand that. So, being a New Englander, I really wanted to understand what's going on in the wintertime and in the summertime. Why do we get a winter? How come the northern hemisphere is cold when the southern hemisphere is hot? Vice versa. And that makes a heck of a lot of sense when you understand the flat earth map and the flat earth theory. The whole idea, it makes way more sense. Now, when you also understand that flat earth has been encoded in the Bible many times, it says that the earth is a circle. A circle is two-dimensional and flat. An airplane, it flies on a plane. A plane is flat, okay? When you circumnavigate the ocean, all circumnavigations have gone from east to west or west to east, never north to south. Why? Because a circle, you're circumnavigating. You're navigating in a circle. You don't navigate in a ball. You don't go around a ball. You don't go around a sphere. On an airplane, never ever when you're flying an airplane do you go around a ball. It's total utter nonsense. Now, what is going on in New England on the summer solstice, okay, which is July 20th, what's happening is the sun is actually, it always circles like it says in the Bible, and its circling is close to the northern hemisphere as it's going to get. Now, after the solstice, it starts to actually head out and circle out towards the southern hemisphere, which is why our days start to get shorter and our nights begin to get longer because the sun is going further away. And the reason why it's not bright all the time on a flat earth is because light only travels so far. Okay, if you have a flashlight and you keep walking, eventually you're not going to be able to see the light. It's the same idea with the sun. Okay, eventually you can't see it, which explains time zones and everything. Okay, the flat earth explains everything. This spinning globe is total utter nonsense. Now, after the equinox, the fall equinox, okay, which is September 20th, September 21st, depending on where you live, what that means is that it's equal day and equal night. So you have daylight from 6 to 6, nighttime from 6 to 6. There are only two equinoxes. There's the spring equinox and the fall equinox, okay? So that's the fall equinox. Now, the next event to happen, and this event is a big one because Christianity has encoded this event forever, and this is Christmas, the birth of the Son of God. It's not the birth of a man named Jesus. It is, however, it can be considered the birth of the Son. Why is that? That's because if you track the sun on sundials, you'll notice every day the sun sets different location from the previous day by 1 degree on a sundial, and you can track this. All of a sudden on December 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, 3 days in a row, it sets in the same exact location. The ancient people realized this, and they were shocked. They couldn't believe it because the sun to them was the Son of God. It was God's Son, and God's Son dies because anything that doesn't move for 3 days was considered dead. And they realized that the sun was going away to the southern hemisphere, and for those 3 days it goes as far away as it's going to go. Now, on December 25th, the sun actually begins to come back from the southern hemisphere, and it begins to make its way back to the northern hemisphere so that we can again have our summer solstice in the summer. Now, that's on December 25th. The sun is still far away, and it's still closer to the southern hemisphere than the northern hemisphere, which is why our winter is still going to be cold and brutal. Now, until the equinox, okay, the sun crosses that equinox. Now, here we go again, religion's encoding this. The reason why on the spring equinox, Jewish people celebrate the Passover, okay, where they blow a ram's horn and they sacrifice a ram, it's all symbolical because Aries is the ram. Aries is the constellation during that time of the year, and the sun is crossing over the equator. Essentially, it is beating Aries. It is conquering Aries the ram, and the sun is coming back to the northern hemisphere. Now again, this has been encoded in religions in so much. So when you start to learn that it's more than a theory, okay? It's encoded in everything. And then they lie about it so that it keeps us in the dark. Why? Because we are the uneducated. We are considered the profane. And by uneducated, I mean us Americans that went to college and went to school. We are uneducated because we are not in the group, okay? It's that simple. We are not in the group. We don't know what the group talks about and what the group understands and what the group learns. And let me tell you, it's a hell of a lot different than the crap that we learn. And until you do your research, you're not going to know that. You have to understand it. You have to do your research. All right? This has taken me a long time to learn because there's so many different topics and so many things. But I'm telling you right now, if you get to the point, and this is easy, if you go outside and you start to learn where the North Star is, you can start to find the Big and Little Dipper. Right now, you can go outside and you can see, right now, you'll be able to see Taurus really beautifully. You'll be able to see Orion really beautifully. And you can see the 3 stars on his belt and all of that. If you can look up out at night and you can start naming stars and knowing where things are, understanding the concepts of that Saturn is in Taurus and that, you know, all these things. If you can start to understand this, you will start to realize we are not on a ball endlessly spinning through outer space. That's all I got to tell you. But this is my opinion. I love you all, and I hope you all stay warm in this winter. Stay safe, and I love everybody. I'm just here to teach people things, to teach people that there's another side to the story, and to show them that there are other theories that make a hell of a lot of sense. I love you all.